Hey guys, if you wonder where I am actually outside of my house. I am outside near my house in my neighborhood right now. We live in North Carolina and our address is 512 Liberty Road Drive, NC, North Carolina. And if you want contact information, just access from our forum that we have in our site, which is going to be on the channel. Okay. Anyways, let's get back to a video, which is going to be, hey guys, welcome. It's Max reading me. We are going to be reading again, Hard Luck. Diary of a Wimpy Kid. We're going to start at page 64, which when I stopped off yesterday. If you watched the video, then you'll probably know. If you haven't watched those videos, in the description, you can see them. Okay, anyways, let's get back on the book. Plus, it gave me a chance. I finally decided on some shoes that were sporty but not too over the top. Mom asked me if I want to wear them home. But there's no way I was going to let my shoes get dirty before I wore them to school for the first time. Plus, it gave me a chance to enjoy the new school smell all the time. Sniff. Monday. I never noticed how dirty the ground is until I got my new shoes. And not just the actual ground, and the street and sidewalk too. The way the school is like a minefield of mud, and you have to, and grease and other junk, and you practically have to be a ninja to avoid all of it. In fact, after only getting one block from my house this morning, I turned around to run back inside. I got one of those plastic grocery bags. Everything was good. And for a while, everything was good. But eventually, the bottoms of the bag got shredded, and then they didn't give me any protection at all. So I just ripped the rest of the bags off and threw them in the nearest trash can. And then I did my best to avoid danger areas. I stayed on the sidewalk until I realized I was getting pebbles in the real grip of my shoes, and I know they were gonna take forever to minimize the amount of rubber. So I tried to minimize the amount of rubber to Eventually, I gave up. I gave up and just walked in the grass. But by the time I went to school, I was 20 minutes late. But I was totally worth it to show up in style. Unfortunately, we're having a pot quiz and geography, and I had to try and catch up everyone else. A few minutes in the quiz, I noticed really terrible tone. At first, I thought it was Bernard Barnson, who usually doesn't smell too good in general. But this was way worse than usual. I took my stuff to the desk in the back of the room so I could concentrate on my quiz. But the smell followed me, and that's where I realized where it really was coming from. I must have stepped in some dog poop when I walked in the grass, and I knew exactly where it happened too. I took off my shoe and went to the front of the room to tell Mrs. Pope about my situation. But I think Mrs. Pope thought I was trying to skip on the past quiz because she gave me a plastic bag to put my shoe in and return to my seat. And told me to return to my seat. By the rest of the kids had figured out what was going on, and they had a good laugh about my expense. That's what they were probably doing. Go in the comments below what you think about that thing. Usually I found that was funny as the next guy, but that's when someone else steps in. The best time In fact, the best time I've ever had with Rowley was on the 4th day of July when his parents took us downtown to see the fireworks. We had to get there a few hours early to set our blanket in the park. What if the police horses unloaded right on the main path where everyone was walking by, and the two of us spent the rest of the night watching people's reactions as they tried to avoid it? What? There's some good times, but I guess they're all over now. What really makes me mad is that if that is everything was the way it was supposed to be, I would have been walking to school with Rowley this morning, and he would have been enjoying his dog with scouting instead. But Rowley had to go and get himself a girlfriend, and now I guess I'm the one who has to suffer. I told Rebels that I had tracked the Rebels mess all over the classroom, and they had to call Mr. Meeks to clean it up. He kept on shooting me dirty looks, so it made me really tough to concentrate on my pop quiz. After class ended, I went to the front office to see if there's anything they could do to help me. The school secretary let me look through the lost and found for the location issue, but the only thing in there that even came close was a girl's winter boot. Right there, Mr. Nern came out of the teacher's lounge, and the secretary asked him if he had any spare shoes. Mr. Nern said he actually had an extra pair in his office, and he went to go get one for me. I never noticed before, but Mr. Noon has some gigantic feet. And I hope, just because he lent me his shoes, that doesn't mean I have to keep playing checkers with him at recess. Flop, flop. Yeah, these are cars. I'm outside. Oh. Right then, Mr. Nern came out of the teacher's lounge, and the secretary asked him if he, yeah, I mean, wait, bye. Number 1, Wednesday. Since I'm not hanging out with Riley any school anymore, I got a lot more times. But the thing I've learned is that you should never tell your mom you got nothing to do. I'm bored. Good. Can you help me clean the oven? No, pretend. Oh, that was good. You get it? Get it? Get it? Get it? Get it? Anyways. So I've been going outside after school just to avoid doing chores at home. Mom's been telling me I should branch out and try to find new friends. We're in my neighborhood. A few where I live, the pickings are pretty slim. A few houses down, there are the Lasky boys, but their idea of a good time is just stripping around in their underwear and wrestling in the front yard. Diagonally across the street is a kid named Mitchell Flammer, who I think is a year or two younger than me. But he doesn't even know what. But I don't even know what he looks like because I'd never seen him without a motorcycle helmet on. A few houses down on the right, you got Eric Colbert, who was suspended 3 weeks ago for breaking in and vandalizing the school. He tried to deny him, but it was pretty pointless. Eric for the school. Then there's Bradley, which lives a few houses from me. If there's anything good that's come out of my situation in the past few weeks, it's that I haven't had to walk by Bradley's house on my way up to see Ragley. Would you want to play this little piggy? Unfortunately, Mom's already trying to set up a play down between me and Fredley. She says she feels bad for him because he seems like a lonely boy. What? Whatever. I really wish Mom wouldn't say things like that because it makes me feel all disgusting and trust me. I already feel but I already feel bad enough seeing Fredley out on the playground every day. But today I had a really crazy thought. I realized if I became friends with Fredley, I can mold him into exactly the type of friend I wanted. I could basically take all the things I like about Rel and teach Fredley how to do it. Plus, Fredley could bring something extra to my table. I noticed at my school the most popular guys have a funny side. One of the boys in Ross entered except for laughing, and I guarantee you the only reason Bryce keeps Jeffrey around is for comic relief. Hey, has anyone seen my hamburger? And Jeffrey never go for the funny sidekick? So Fredley wouldn't even be a threat to me. I just need to make sure Fredley is acting funny on purpose. Because with him, you could never really tell. They got the small my No, seriously. Today at lunch, I wanted to find Friendly to invite him to sit at the table. He was so far back in the line, he got to get a seat that was out in the hallways near the boys' bathroom. Luckily, Friendly is pretty skinny, so we were able to squeeze him in. The serious thing I did was tell him how things work, starting with the 5-second rule. I was right in the middle of telling me how you can place a food that doesn't belong to when Fredley went for the potato chip and my hand was won't work. I was pretty mad, and I told Fredley if he's gonna pull that kind of nonsense, he can go back to the spot on the floor in the hallway. But I explained that somebody had to actually drop something before it could be claimed. He seemed to get it and sort of tried to apologize. So I guess you have to call that progress of friends. While Franklin was eating lunch, I snuck a peek at his notebook to see how good his cursive was. But when I saw what was on the first page, I wish I had it. Look at this. No, look at it. Look. Weird. Anyways. After school, I asked Fredley if he wanted to walk home with me. I explained how I needed him to scout ahead for dog poop, and how he'll have to pull my roller back from time to time. Fredley seemed eager to help out, and things started off pretty smoothly. But then I wasn't paying attention, and I forgot to cross the street when we got near the Mingle kids. So next thing we knew, we had the whole pack of them chasing after us. We finally lost them when they got to the bottom of the street. But when Fredley in my backpack, it was partially empty. I Fredley with what happened with all my books, and he said he threw them out when the Middle kids were chasing us. I asked why he gone and done that, and he said he was hoping they'd stop and read them. So day one was a little bit of a disaster. But Fredley's going to be a long-term project. And I'd probably prepare for some bunks along the way. This morning, me and Friendly were supposed to walk to school together. But at 8:30, he still hadn't showed up at my house. So, so wait. So I went over to his place and knocked on the front door. On the front door. Nobody. That he hadn't showed up at my house, so I went over to his place and knocked on the front door. Nobody answered, and I was about to just head to school by myself when I heard some noise. It could sound like a bowling ball sounding on the stairs. Then the front door opened, and Fredley was standing there. So, guys, I'm gonna end here. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.